Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I'm happy to tell you that Call of Duty finally has a creator code program very similar to Fortnite and Epic's support a creator code. I was lucky enough to be part of the very first group of people for these to roll out to. I've got one of the first CoD creator codes that there are anywhere in the world. And the way this works is that I get 5% of anything you spend if you use code DRIFTOR, D-R-I-F-T-0, as in the number 0, not just the capital O, but like the hard numerical 0 on the keyboard, 0R. If you use code DRIFTOR, 5% of anything that you spend will be passed on to me. The code works on any platform that you're on, and so if you're on Xbox, PS4, PC, or even if this carries forward into the future, the next generation consoles, it'll work there. And interestingly, if you spell my name or any whatever creator's code that you choose to use, if you spell their name wrong, it will reject your creator code. So if your creator code is getting rejected, check your spelling. That would be my number one bet. But that changes the nature of my relationship with Activision to a direct business relationship. So what I have to do anytime I mention the code, like I've just done, is tell you all that this video is sponsored by Activision because they have a direct business relationship with me promoting that code. Now the rest of the video isn't, but anytime I mention the code, I have to say at least the code is sponsored by Activision. So I guess now I can finally say I get paid by Activision, at least related to creator codes, you know, because, well, obviously it's up there. And there's a lot to talk about today, a lot to unbox about this. We got some good things about supporting creators and moving forward with the community, and some maybe bad things with the legal stuff and the business relationship obligations and all that that comes to a sort of direct sponsorship like this. But let's talk about the good stuff first. The best part about this is that it shows that Activision, or at least the Call of Duty sub-brand inside of Activision, wants to move forward into the future. They are learning from lessons from Fortnite and emulating it instead of doubling down on what they've been doing. Because for years and years, it was more pre-order, more bonus, more pay for DLC, more microtransactions, and they started losing customers. I believe people were just playing Fortnite because it was free to play. So they decided to make all their stuff more consumer friendly, starting with Modern Warfare. And in the last few years, we got free DLC, which includes maps, modes, guns, and Battle Royale. Well, Battle Royale we got was its own totally free-to-play Call of Duty product, which is the first ever and a very successful one. Loot boxes are dead, and as far as I can tell, they've been replaced with a more fair Battle Pass system, at least for Modern Warfare. We have direct skin purchases, kind of like League of Legends, which is good because you know exactly what you're going to get for your money. We have cross-play, progression, and coming up for the next game, you've got cross-generation, which I have no idea how that's even going to work. But we've got all of these nice things because of a major disruption in the distribution systems in the market, and customers are no longer interested in paying for all of that. Instead, they expect to get it for free because other games are providing that for free. And Call of Duty adding a creator code says to me that they're willing to keep up with the times, to keep changing, keep evolving, and keep rolling with it, because this system is mutually beneficial to all parties in the following ways. Number one is that creators, like myself, get paid, and this helps them to keep making content full time. If it's not easy to do YouTube full time because the income is wildly unpredictable. Like, just in my own personal life, I can have 1 month where I'm just like eating beans and ramen to get by, and then I get a paycheck the next month and I'm like, oh my god, I should buy a car. And then the next month is dry and the next month is hot, and it's really hard to kind of plan your life like that. So having any kind of more reliable additional income streams and stuff is great, because everything that you make and do is provided for free. This video is provided for free to all of you, so it's kind of difficult to make money from free, right? And this is especially important for smaller creators, for creators that are kind of like borderline between going full-time and just doing this as a hobby. They kind of want to quit their day job but can't quite afford it, but they need a little bit more time to make better content. A creator code can help small creators generate revenue and decide to go full-time and stay at home and work on stuff and grow and become famous and successful and make great content for all of you, so that what this could do is help inspire or fund an entire new generation of creators. Now, currently, the pilot program is very small. I don't know exactly who's in it, but I do know that it's going to start expanding relatively soon. I can't imagine that they're going to leave it locked down to the initial group, but I guess I'm a beta tester for now, so I think it's mostly more famouser people, but there should be some smaller streamers, and especially in the future when it goes out, anybody can have a creator code, we kind of hope. Number two is that you at least know some of your money helps a person you like, because previously if you were buying microtransactions, your money goes to Activision or to Treyarch or to whatever, and it kind of goes into this corporate void and you have no idea what happens to it. But now you know at least a portion of that goes to help a creator that you I would hope you put in the creator code of the creators you like and not the ones you hate. God, I can't predict the COD community. Number 3 is that this is good for Activision. They'll probably make more money because YouTubers are going to be doing more microtransaction promos and stuff like that. A lot of you might not consider that to be a good thing. Activision definitely considers it to be a good thing. And on that note, this also gives influencers a very strong incentive to make sure the game is good. One of the things that YouTubers get criticized for endlessly is if we get to play a game early and then the game comes out and the community doesn't like it or it's bad, it's kind of our fault. So like, if I go to Treyarch and play the next Black Ops a month before it comes out and there's problems with it, somehow that's the responsibility of the YouTubers that were there. And the only logical solution is that we're all lazy and indignant and don't care about our communities because we're too rich and driving around Teslas and stuff. So we just don't care and let them make crappy games because Activision slips us thousands of dollars under the table and we all live together on a private island under a volcano. I don't need all this kind of like crazy stuff like that, right? But the reality is that every time that we go to a studio to play games, we're all there giving feedback to devs, we're trying to help, we're reporting bugs, we're making suggestions, and it's a more collaborative process than you might expect. Some good things have come out of it. I think I'm able to say that the entire armor system for Warzone, or at least the visual feedback part of it, came from the YouTubers who went to the early reveal, because you shoot somebody in Warzone, you have one hit marker for armor, you have a hit marker for a plate break, a hit marker for total armor break, a blue icon for it, you got hit markers for the body, different sounds. That wasn't in the game. It was all the same sounds. You had no idea if the person you were shooting had armor or not, or if they were cracked or broken. But that little system is something that YouTubers recommended and was put in place. Now that there is a strong financial incentive for the game to be good and successful and to have a giant player base, even the lazy YouTubers that would just kind of play and get their content and go, even the people that didn't care a whole lot, that weren't really pitching ideas, are going to be much more invested in this. The community, the creator side of the community, is going to be very invested in creating a great game. And finally, I guess that's good for Activision. You guys will probably spend more money on microtransactions because it's easier to spend money when you're helping somebody and, the constant promo. So on that note, let's talk about some of the bad, or at least some of the more complicated changes that come with the Creator Code agreement. Number 1 is that the contract is kind of written like a standard sponsor agreement. I can't talk a whole lot about the contract because it's under an NDA, which means a non-disclosure agreement. It is a legally binding agreement where I promise not to blab off about the whole contract and spill the beans and show people and leak data and stuff like that. And I've had a bajillion people over the years tell me that I should quit being a pussy and that I should just go ahead and break NDAs and leak stuff, and that I think it's mostly people that don't understand that these are legally binding agreements that open me up to lawsuits in the hundreds of thousands to $1 million ranges, and some of them, depending on the level of technology you're dealing with or the type of entity, can even be criminal. So NDAs are a very serious thing and you don't want to break them. So I have to be a little bit careful about what I talk about with the contract. But it is roughly a standard sponsor agreement in any video where the code is used or mentioned, which, let's be real, moving forward, there's no incentive whatsoever for me to not mention my code. So Code Drifter is going to be in pretty much every video that you see on this channel. What that also means is that since it's more of a sponsor agreement, there has to be an FTC disclosure associated with that code being promoted anywhere on this video. Activision, above all other companies that I've worked with, is very paranoid and very serious about FTC disclosures. They want the disclosures every single time the code is mentioned, which is probably the legally best practice and good one, but they're serious. I know that the community conspiracy has been for ages that, like, go to Infinity Ward, they slip you a few thousand under the table to say good things about the game. Use the YouTubers, and no, it's not like that. Going all the way back to like Black Ops 2 and COD Ghosts, they've had very serious FTC disclosures about, I have to say that if I stayed in a hotel they paid for, disclose travel, disclose everything, and they've been more particular about disclosures than EA or Ubisoft or indie companies or anybody that I've worked with. So the contract is set up where if I'm supporting the creator code, I really need to be doing my FTC disclosure and say that this video is sponsored by Activision. That means that future content that you all see, not just for me, but other places as well, is going to have a lot of hashtag COD partner, hashtag ad, hashtag sponsored by Activision, hashtag code provided by Activision, partnered with Activision, something kind of like that. You've seen all these disclosures before to make it legal and good. One of my concerns about this is that these kind of obligations are being rolled out to YouTubers. Some of them have a 7th grade reading level, some of them have very questionable ethics, or some of them just don't think very much. And I would not be surprised if a pretty significant number of these people do not do any FTC disclosures at all. And I'm really curious to see what the enforcement and punishment is going to be, because Epic's is supposed to be like that. Like when creators mention their Fortnite creator code, they're supposed to do an FTC disclosure, but that pretty much never happens and nobody enforces it. So I have no idea what it's going to be like in the CoD community. And if I had to bet, I would bet that the heads of all the old school CoD haters are going to start exploding, just blowing up, going nuclear out there. Like, bro, everything you do is sponsored by Activision. You're a shill. They own you like a sheep because you're just sheeple. Let me go watch more Alex Jones. They're very, very paranoid, very angry, excitable group as is. And this is going to make them more angry. They're going to think that Activision bought every YouTuber on the planet. And while this is exaggerated, while I'm stereotyping these people, their complaints are not entirely meritless. It's not ones that I think would say are perfectly valid, but there's some truth hidden in all that anger. And one of those truth nuggets, is that a lot of creators, myself included, will now have a business relationship with Activision. And a legally binding contractual business relationship comes with different obligations, disclosures, and power dynamics than the more hands-off relationships. And I've talked to the people that are creating and running this program. I mean, just setting it up, I had to run up and down like a bajillion different emails and give them all sorts of information and stuff. But it seems like the people that are creating this program are not interested in micromanaging content. They don't seem to be interested in pushing certain Call of Duty agendas. They seem to genuinely want to roll out a fair and Epic Games style support of creator code in order to get with the times and to have something that supports the broader community, which is good for the game's life and cycle and all that sort of good stuff. Life cycle, that's the word I was looking for. They don't really seem to want to be the content police. They seem to want to be the people who help creators make a little bit more money and get some free promo for them on microtransactions. So it's a pretty straightforward thing, and I just hope this works out great for everybody. I genuinely hope that every negative thing I've said in this video, every complaint, is completely meritless, that it just never happens. I hope that everybody does their FTC disclosures and nobody gets in trouble. I hope that Activision doesn't come in as the content police and threaten to pull codes. I hope that the community doesn't go nuclear and send death threats to developers and stuff like that again. I hope that everybody just kind of takes this as a normal evolution or progression of a popular game emulating another very popular game's successful business model, and that it's all okay. So that's kind of all I got to say about the creator codes. I'm going to work on my own disclosures. You'll probably see them in almost every video moving forward. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.